traveling and meeting you at events. So this is quite a strange year, and these conferences are a very nice opportunity to read familiar names, to see familiar faces, and for me yesterday to hear, to listen to the voice of a few friends. So it's a great pleasure. So thank you to everyone for being here, and thank you to the organizers for organizing this weekend. In the next hour, we are going to speak about the topic that I think you can see in the first slide, that is called Building Your Judge Brand. So first thing, I can see that from the chat that you can hear me. I would like to check that you can see the slide, and for those who are interested, that you can also see the video. I should be a small photo, a small picture above on the right. Okay, good. What are we going to discuss today? First, a few information. What are we going to do and what are we going to use? We have a chat, so please feel free to enter any comments and your experience. We also have the possibility to use our voice. There should be somewhere the possibility to raise your hand, and we have our host who is able to give you the possibility to speak. So if you want to say something, if you want to complete or give your experience, adding to what I will be telling you, you are free to do it. You are very welcome to do it. We are going to divide the next hour, about an hour, into two parts. First, we are going to speak about generic concepts, and then we are going to focus a little more on judge-related concepts. There will be a couple of moments where I will allow you to have some discussion in the chat or with your voice again. So while you follow the theory part, think about your experience. Think about what you may want to add. My desire is that this is also a conversation among a group of friends. And then it's important to set expectations. We are not going to reveal any secret. There are no secrets. This is just a conversation among friends. So, let's see. Building your judge brand. Imagine that you have just become a judge. How is the first day? The first day when you became a judge. Think about how you felt. And I offer you a photo that represents a new judge. This is the one. You entered in a new world, so you feel like a small baby, a small kitten, and everything is different around you. And there is almost no one guiding you. So you need to explore, you need to discover. Everything is new. So you need to, let's use the title of this presentation, you need to build your judge brand. So what are the aspects that we need to care about? Now we are small kittens and we need to grow up. We need to become great judges. So let's see. The first aspect that I want to mention is summarized by a sentence. I will give you 30 seconds to read this sentence, waiting for the picture to appear. This person is a Canadian astronaut who did some lessons too online. So you can find these lessons, this video, and there are also some books that I highly recommend. And the sentence is the following: the greatest antidote for fear is competence. We are in a new world. and we just got certified or we advanced to the next level. Everything is new. So we are afraid. We need to thicken our skin. We need to improve our skills. So first, we need competence. If we want to have a brand, if we want to be seen as good judges or good professional, good people, we need to know how to work. So first tool or first thing that we need to put in our bag is our competence. We need to learn the basics. Then, when we learn how to work, when we learn what we need to do, we need to go out from our home. So what we need is visibility. It's important that other people know that we exist and that we build all our competence. If we are the greatest football player of the world, we are the greatest magic judge of the world, but we always stay in our house, nobody can see us. Our brand is very weak. Then, once we get other people to know us, and later we will make examples about how we can do it in the world of magic, we need to continue going out from our house and we need to build a network. Think about the conference today. Think about all the people you know in this conference, and also imagine why you are here in this. How is it possible that you join this conference? Because you are connected to other people. You are not only skilled, you are not only visible to people, meaning that people know you, but you are also connected. So you had the opportunity to join this conference. And this is part of networking that is also extremely important. And now I would like to offer you, let's say 2 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, the necessary time to add anything else. So I mentioned three areas that I chose to call competence, visibility, and network. Now I will go back to the first slide, that is the top slide. You can see that in around the cloud called brand, there are a few aspects: design, value, strategy, logo, marketing, advertising, identity, and trust. Well, I smiled when I saw logo, and I thought, no, actually, us as judges, we are not individual logo. We may have a logo collectively, but not individually. Okay, let's go back to our time for discussion. So think about, this is very generic, it's not judge related. Think about what else can be useful to build our brand, to become professionals that who can be hired by tournament organizers or others to perform our job. Feel free to use the chat to enter any comments. So what can be useful in general to grow our profession, to find our customers?
Right, so feel free to answer the question in the chat, or if you'd like to voice out your opinion on this, go ahead and just raise your hand and share with everyone else.
There might be some people who do not follow the chat, who are only listening. So I'm going to read the the relevant comments in general during all the presentation in the chat. So I see personality and character, and people should trust you. Yes. Specialized skill. This is something extra added to competence. Competence can be general, or you can also add some specialization. Then again, another trust, another character, professionalism. I would like to ask to LP if you can write a little more about what you mean with the word professionalism, because it can be interesting. Specialized in unique formats. Yes, regarding magic. The specialization can be in formats. It's true. I met some judges who are, for example, great in legacy and vintage. Then other comments, other characteristics, integrity, environmental demand, the demand around you. Character again, adaptability. We are adapting this year. I wanted to speak a little about this adaptability. At least in my country, there are no physical, no live in-person tournaments. So now we have tournaments online. I don't like tournaments online, or at least I didn't like them because I don't think I'm very good with technology and typing. So I needed to learn something different to adapt and judge online tournaments, and they can actually be interesting. Then self-confidence, empathy. Oh, Wendra, you mentioned self-confidence. So the last picture of today will be dedicated to you. Empathy, flexibility again, credibility that I associate with trust. Then I see Ron who speaks about advertising. Advertising for companies is very important, and also for us as individuals. Reputation, patience, persistence, self-confidence, reliability, customer service and people skills, marketing again, specialization, positivity. I like positivity. Focus and people skill. Okay. We have a reply from LP who spoke about professionalism. So you can read it in the chat, and I will read it loud for the people who are just listening. Professionalism by being focused on what you are there for, by being a judge and not being distracted by other stuff like buying cars and other stuff. Thank you. Okay, if anyone wants to speak, to use the voice, to say anything specific about one of these areas, this is a good moment. If not, in a minute, we will continue by going a little more specific in the world of judging. For those who may want to speak now or later, on the right of your window, there are some buttons, and one of them is raise hand. If you click on raise hand, the host can open your voice communication, can allow your microphone to work so that you can join a conversation with your voice. Time to continue. And our focus today, we are magic judges, and we are going to speak a little more about magic. And this is a conference that is called level 1 development. So we will start from the beginning. Let's apply our three categories. Category number 1, improve your skills. What are the basic skills? We need to know the rules, of course. We need to know tournament rules and policies. Yes. We need to be mastering logistics of tournaments. We need to know what people have to do physically. We may want to know the software that is used. That can be with the computer, at phones, any other app that are useful for running tournaments. We need to be able to give rulings, so to interact with people. Then it can help to know strategy of game. If in addition to judges we are also players, it helps. It helps in our communication with the players, and it helps in determining status of the game, how the game would continue. And then there might be other skills. If astrophysics, weightlifting, juggling with objects is useful for your tournaments, add them to your set of skills. This is not the main topic of our conversation today, so I just listed many possible skills. We have many other seminars about these topics. Then, this is an important part. The second aspect that we spoke about was visibility. Get other people to know you. Good. We studied rules, we studied policy, we passed our test, then we started going to tournaments. We learned how a tournament is structured from the beginning to the end. We started giving our rulings, and now we need to make the other people know us. So what we can do? Here I listed some. In the meantime, think about other possibilities. So what I wrote is contact stores. I will give you an example about myself. I just moved to a new city a few months ago. If I want to judge here, I have to do something. One of the first searches I did was to check if there were stores in my area. So if I want to judge, if I want other people to know me, I need to contact them. And the first thing that I can search for is stores. I go online, I write Magic, playing, and the name of my city. So I find store. Then what can I do? I go to the stores. I check. Maybe I go in the day of a tournament so that I get to know a few more players. I get to know the organizer. I introduce myself. So this is contacting stores. I say to them who I am, and I tell them what I did in the past, what I want to do, so I offer my help. This way, the organizer, the store owner, knows that I am a resource. I am a resource available for them. Then, the second one. If there are players, if there is a store, and if there are tournaments, it's also possible that there are judges. Now, an important aspect. If there is another judge in my city, this judge is not my enemy. This judge is not a competitor. This judge is my colleague. So we can help each other. Usually, judges help each other. So contacting other judges can only be useful because they are a way to welcome us into the new environment. Then I thought about the organizer. I thought about the other judges. There is another person, another group of people who I'm going to interact with. That is the players. So I would check if there are groups, a website, Facebook pages of players, so that I can join these groups and start writing something. Maybe is about answering their rules question, giving advice, discussing decks, sending reminders about tournaments. So this way, I may um, I may show to players that I'm a useful resource. If many players are convinced that I'm a useful resource, the value of my brand raises. Then I thought about how can I reach more people? How can I become visible in a way that is a little more permanent? So in a way that lasts longer than just answering a rule question. I can write an article. I can post an article on the player website, or I can have it on the page of the store. I may explain how tournaments work in that store, so that my name is associated to that article. And when people read or speak about that article, they will think about me, and the value of my brand will rise. Then another possibility that is more with judges and less with players and TO, but it can be open, is conferences. Conferences like this one may be a way to get other people to see you, get other people check your skills, and you become more visible. So these are some of the examples that came to my mind. And now is another moment I would like to ask to you, what can we add? What other ways we can use to improve our visibility? You may think about your personal experience. What did you do to make people know you? QJ writes, present a seminar at judge conference. Yes. Join special project. Oh, Ben, if you want to say something more about what you mean with special project, if you have an example, even better. Then other recommendations are become a regular player. Yes, if players see you not as an external entity, useful, skilled, but still something like a foreigner, instead they see you as one of them because you sometimes or regularly play with them, they will know you more. I agree with this. Other comments are help out even when people didn't ask for it. So do not help players or other people only when they ask for your help. If they don't know you, if your visibility is low, they don't know that they can ask you for help. So be proactive in asking them, in helping them. Talk to people that you haven't known yet. That is, introduce yourself. Well, indeed, if there is a person you don't know, and it's very probable that they don't know you. So introducing yourself raises your visibility. Participate in the Ask the Judge group. Yes. join store social groups, and help answer all questions. Judge projects, build a relationship with TO, with other judges, and potential mentors, so that you can increase your presence in the community. Find ways to bond. Make a TikTok video. Okay, we have a longer answer from Ben. I'm going to read it loud again for people who are just listeners. An example of special project. There used to be a tournament report project called the Battlefield Forge. QJ ran it, and it was a nice way to get involved. I wound up meeting a couple of Australian judges in the project at the first and only GPI staff in Australia. Well, indeed, you're right. Joining a project allows you to expand your scope, expand your area, because there might be people working on a project that are not, for example, from your city. So you can increase your visibility because you would be getting in touch with people in another environment, and they may be your marketing people. Other comments are: be active in various social media groups. Another recommendation about the Ask the Judge TikTok. Then we have the popcorn thread in the community forum. If anyone wants to join with voice and speak about one of these projects, or speak about any experience that they found useful to raise their visibility, this is a good moment. Otherwise, we would continue to the next area in a minute. In the meantime, I'm going to read the other comments. Do content and write a blog. Oh, there is an interesting comment that is: be active in this discussion. I will notice you. Well, I find it a smart comment, and I want to expand on this. Sometimes we are in conferences, in discussion, with other people looking, with other people paying attention. If we join a discussion in a moment when many people pay attention, it can be an online discussion, it can be in person, it can be live, or it can be something that remains on a blog. By joining a discussion, you are introducing yourself to all the readers. Support other people, help settle a dispute between two stores. This is interesting. Support someone's project, proactively be involved with other judge groups. And now I have this, that is my summary. How can you get the others know you? You need to have initiative, meaning that you or we need to do something. If we stay in our bedroom, yes, it's cozy and comfortable, but other people will not see us. We need to go out. We need to reach out to them. So we need to have initiative. Let's now move to the third area, that is build your connection. We already started speaking about connection by discussing our visibility. So some of these may look like repetitions, but I would like at this moment to change the approach. So now we got other people to know us, and it's about visibility. Then I would like to speak about connection. We can also call it collaboration. We already mentioned joining project as a way to increase our visibility, and I would highlight it even more in the next 10 minutes, because joining project means to collaborate with people. It means building a connection that is not only having visibility, is also showing other people that we can collaborate, we can work together. How or where can we work together with other people? How can we connect with other people? We can use a local judge blog or website. We can write, for example, by writing articles together with other judges. We can connect with other judges, for example, when we or the other judge is answering one of the players' rules question or assisting players. And we can still collaborate with them behind the scene by giving feedback, by mentioning something about their reply, by asking them what they think about our reply. So this is a little different than just being present, than just being visible. This is asking, so this is contacting other people to ask for a collaboration. Imagine that I, I write an article that speaks about a topic that I know that you like, because maybe in the past you presented a seminar in the conference about that article. If I'm writing an article, for example, about giving feedback or writing reviews, I may think, oh, yesterday QJ presented a seminar about giving feedback. So we have something in common. I want to create a connection with QJ. So I'm going to write to him. I'm going to send him the link to my article about feedback. And I'm going to say, hi, we have a topic in common. Yesterday you presented a seminar about feedback. I wrote an article about feedback. I would like you to take a look at my article and tell me what you think, because it can be a common topic. Maybe in the future we may do something together about this topic, or even about other topics, other projects, some activities in tournaments or some travels the day after a tournament. So this is to create a personal connection. And this is an example with a judge. Other connections that you can build might be in local players group, or the other judges that you may meet in your city. There are some cities in Italy, this is a specific example, where some judges were organizing conferences, mini conferences, that actually were dinner together with some conversation about rules and policy. A very specific example, I lived for a few years in Turin, that is a city in Italy in the north, and every 3 months, when there was a new set with new policy, we were organizing a very simple dinner to meet our friends in the city. We were 5 or 6 people, And we were discussing the new policy. And also, in addition to having a session of policy discussion, we had a good dinner, we had a good time, and we were building a connection. So this connection can be built online and also in person. Another example that came to my mind about building connection is with organizers. There might be organizers, think about a big organizer who organizes conventions, regionals, or even nationals. And you live in a medium-sized city. Maybe you want to contact that organizer saying, hi, you never organized a big tournament in my city. My city has 1 million people. So it can be a good place where you can organize a big tournament. And if you have no connections, no colleagues in my city because you live in another one, I can be your contact. I can help you in finding venues, in the logistics aspects, and also in your interaction with local stores and players. So this can be a connection you have with a different type of person. We spoke about judges, we spoke about players, and this is a very different character. It's an organizer who maybe doesn't play the game. And they can be available contact, available connection. Then in the slide, I also added venues. So people who own the building, it can be a convention center, it can be a shopping mall with some rooms for events. Another connection can be with sponsors. Why not? We have, we or the organizers have a business, so they are interested in earning some money to earn their living. And the sponsor can be a useful tool, a useful extra. And it's another person, another type of person you can build a connection to. So these are my examples. Another 5 minutes of discussion. I would like to ask you what you think about this area, about building connection. So to remind you the context, now we are not speaking in general anymore. We are speaking about us as magic judges. In addition to the examples I gave, what other connection may we build? I had an idea about a sponsor because it's how it works in at least in small towns in Italy. We have the city, so we have the mayor and people working with them. And the city itself is the owner of some buildings. They can be sport buildings dedicated to sport or buildings with just some rooms. And they are available to give them, not permanently, only for a few hours every day, to association. So there are some groups, not magic related, but for other games and activity, who create a sport association or a society development association, and they can ask to the city to give them a room for free. They don't need to pay, a room to use to develop their activity. So this is an example that I want to offer you about sponsor. So I will take a couple of minutes break, waiting for your examples and your recommendations about what connection we can build. And again, if you have an idea, but it's long to type, please join the voice channel. In the meantime, there are the first comments in the chat that I'm going to read loud. I think that business connections are important to a judge who wants to take a proactive role in building the event scene. Probably one of the most important contacts is someone knowledgeable in event management industry. Most event people already have existing connection, so you only need to know the first one. You need to get into contact with one person in the event management industry, and then it will be them who is going to put you in contact with the others. Patrick says, I got a WhatsApp group for all discussion with my local players. It's fun to discuss and be educative. If you are talking about yours, I think constantly supporting their events and product is one of the best ways to build a connection. And we have Suki. Suki is a Filipino term that means loyal customer. TOs and organizer always remember their Suki or the regulars. Oh yes, I want to highlight two words. Always remember. That is, if you are a TO and you saw me coming to your events and helping one day and be present and speaking with people and giving a good contribution, the next time you will be looking for a person to hire or a person to create something together, maybe I will be the first one who will come to your mind. So try to be present in their activity. We have an experience from Maxwell Lee from Singapore. Daniel Storr, Card Citadel, had the minister Lee Biwa to come and distribute prizes for winners in MTG event. I like it. So you can have a high-level person joining your event. Then the other comments, offering ideas for TO on suggestion on how to recruit and get more players, and also move events to online method during this period of time is very important. Oh, you're right. In this period, there are many stores who saw their activity decrease a lot. And I can imagine that many stores are used to have only physical tournament, physical event, only in person. And they may have no idea about how to organize an online event. So I'm quite confident that if I am a TO and I have no idea about how to organize an online tournament to help my business, and you come to me and you build it and you help me, I'm going to remember what you did. Then other comments say, when you start building a connection, when you break the ice with other people, with the organizer in this case, it's easy to go to next steps of the connection and build a stronger and long-term relationship. Felix is recommending for those who haven't, join the Judge Academy Discord chat. There are several chat rooms and also a dedicated regional chat. Be the point person in local game store, Joel is mentioning another type, another level of networking. That is, the judge close connection to the TO can also lead to that person being able to recommend other judges to the TO. And you can also be that person. So by creating a connection with the TO of big tournaments, for example, you can not only help your activity, but you can help also the other judge's activity. If anyone wants to join by voice and mention one of their connection building activity, this is the moment. If not, in a minute, we will move to the final part. We move to one of our last slides. So far, we focused mainly about our activity as new judges, as level ones or starting level twos. So our operation environment is mainly our city. Now, if
Oh,
we want to,
before we continue, sorry to interrupt. We do have a hand raise from Darren, so I'm just gonna hand him the mic real quick. So here we go.
Hey guys, can you hear me?
we hear you.
Hey, cool. Hey, I'm Darren. I'm a level one from Singapore. I just wanted to share a little experience or a couple of experiences that I had trying to grow my connection circle when I first started out. I guess started out working, but I found that it's a very fast and efficient way to get to know a lot of people in a short amount of time. So a little background, I'm actually in the events industry, and I started this my event career, helping out in store level events and Grand Prix Singapore. I think like 20 years ago. I found that as when you enter the events industry and you run an event or even join an event like an exhibition, tournament or anything, there tends to be a lot of people that are already inside this industry who are at the event. So, for example, if you go to a Grand Prix or if you just go to let's say a mid-size event or something magic related, you actually find a lot of people who are already there who are actually interested in potentially sponsoring or helping out in your events. So I think that that is actually a very quick and efficient way to get to grow your connections, and you actually get to know a lot of people who actually run events as well, or at least the different parts of an event, because an event tends to consist of many different parts that are working together, right? So that helps a lot. Yeah, I have shared my thought.
Thank you.
Thank you. You're welcome. Have fun.
Yeah.
once again, the key part is to have initiative. If you want to build connection, you need to have initiative. Be active, be proactive. Now, just a couple of minutes to speak about what I decided to call advanced strategies. You want to grow even more. You want to become a worldwide magic judge. So you may do many things to raise the value of your brand, to make yourself more visible, more trusted, and have everyone see you as an example. I mentioned only a few that I will just read and quickly comment. Create your website, create your blog, publish regularly, not 50 articles in 1 week and then silence for 1 year, but one article every week. Even if you have already prepared 52 articles, wait, be patient, and publish them regularly so that you can show your continuous presence throughout the entire year. Join or even create players group. Join and organize conferences. I imagine that organizing a conference, either online or in person, is not that easy. So it can be something that gives you more experience and then makes you even more valuable. Create your video channel if you like videos. We already mentioned having working or organizing projects with others. And then I want to expand the sentence, some sort of signature. I'm not sure that in English is the correct expression. What I mean is create something that is only yours. Somebody mentioned TikTok judge videos. I've never seen them. I've read many articles. I saw some seminars, but I've never seen a judge giving an explanation about rules, for example, in the form of a video. If you really like it, maybe it can become your signature. It can become a characteristic that defines you uniquely. So the signature is similar to a logo. So people remember, for example, Starbucks for the Starbucks logo or for the mugs they create that are our souvenir. You can create your signature. You can create something that is unique of you. The cat stories might be a signature. If I use QJ again as an example, if Chiro, I hope I pronounce their name correctly, if Chiro always is inside in photos of QJ's articles, and they always appear at the beginning of seminars and say goodbye at the end of seminar, that is a signature. That is something that is associated to Jane in this case as an example, and that people remember. So it's another way to enter into people's mind, create something that is very visible, that is easy to remember, so that you will be somehow associated to that picture.
Right.
Next time you will travel, take a look at how easy it is to spot the Starbucks sign.
Right. Ricardo, we have another raised hand from Ivan. So,
Okay, please join.
Hey, good morning. So one thing that's maybe advanced and maybe not so advanced is probably all of us do something besides magic, right? And that's also unique signature. So using your skills you have learned university, job, or wherever, and see how it can be used at magic and judging events and otherwise. That's it. Back to you, Riccardo.
Thank you. So my final message is represented by the small picture. Time to think. Think about you can do, about what you can do. Think about how you can be proactive to make people see you as a very good judge. Think about how you can act, how you can have initiative. And with this, I thank you for the time you dedicated to me. It was a pleasure to be here. And now we have our signature saying goodbye to you with a representative photo. Believe in yourself. That small kitten that we saw at the beginning, 1 hour ago, will be looking in the mirror and we will see their future as a tiger.
All right.
Goodbye.